Hey, what's up, everybody? So, today I'm going to talk about my 3-month review with the Creality CR-10 Smart. I've had this machine for about 3 months now, and I remember the first day receiving it, and as soon as I took it out of the box, something broke. And the thing that broke was this here piece, the spool on the inside. And they actually sent me a replacement part. But by the time they sent me that replacement part, I had already super glued that piece together, so now I just have a spare. And actually, here's that piece right now. This piece broke, this little peg here, and I had just super glued it together, and by the time I received it from China, it was already ready to go. I really like the black color of it. It really looked like a refined new machine. It's also got these bars that support, I think this is the Z-axis, and I didn't see that on some of the other machines. I was looking to get a CR-10 Smart, CR-10, and then I saw that there was a slew of other Crealities, and I was really struggling to finally press the purchase button on this initially because of all the bad reviews on YouTube. There were reviews where people were just complaining about it and just tearing it apart and really just not wanting to support Creality anymore. And, you know, with all that stuff aside, I was pretty much new to 3D printing. I had this machine here, and I had that for about a year, and I'll do a review on this pretty soon. But it had a big print area. The price was right. It was on sale, and it had automatic bed leveling. That was probably one of the biggest reasons I bought it in the first place, for the size of the bed and for the automatic bed leveling, because I started out with this machine, and with this machine has automatic bed leveling, and so I knew I didn't want to have to deal with knobs and trying to figure that out and spend all this energy and time trying to learn that. I decided to go with this, and 3 months in, yeah, it's been somewhat of a journey. I ended up having to replace this piece. They sent me a new, they call it an extruder arc. I ended up replacing that. That's a new one, so I have a spare somewhere. I ended up replacing the glass bed, and these were all free replacements that Creality provided. I was adamant about getting a return, and just they would not return this Creality. So I was very disappointed in the beginning that, hey, you know what? I just want to return this product, but they weren't having it. But they were very polite about it, even though, like, I made my request pretty clear. I said, you guys, I really don't want to keep this machine, and you're not really acknowledging the fact that I want to return it. So just something to note about that as well, that if you buy from Creality Official, that's the official Creality site, company from China, and I know that there's another Creality site. So just know that the one that says Creality Official is from China. And I wanted to go with Creality Official because I figured, hey, you know what? If I'm going to get one of these machines and spend the money I spent on it, which I think was around $479 on this machine. And so I'm glad I got it from Creality Official. I'm glad they sent me all these parts because now it's printing really nice. I really have no complaints about it. I did do my research in the beginning to make sure that I get this machine up and running properly, because I knew that with all the videos I watched, I knew that there may be some things I needed to tighten because they were assembled loosely. So I did my due diligence and really looked into all the videos that Creality provided. And Creality has a YouTube channel called Creality After Sale, and I watched a assembly video and the unboxing and assembly. Also watched another video titled Service Tutorial CR-10 Smart Leveling Abnormal Troubleshooting. And this video on the YouTube channel Creality After Sale really went into like tightening the screws for a loose hot end, tightening the screws for these wheels, and there's also wheels down here that it went into talking about tightening. And so yeah, that's I wanted to make sure I go through all of that. It also mentioned screws in here, these screws behind the glass. So I really wanted to make sure that everything was tightened. I assembled this thing real carefully. Like, I didn't shake it. I made sure everything was very sturdy and I made it as little movement as possible. And overall, I was really happy with it. It did come with a spool of white filament, and that is right here, actually. And this thing was terrible. Just to note that when you print it out with that white filament, whatever you print is going to break real easily. And that's not to say that the printer is bad. It's just that filament was not that great. But I don't think it was supposed to be used for anything significant, just to kind of do a test print and see that if it's printing or not, and see that if your extruder is actually doing what it needs to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Yep, and that's the startup there. Overall, this thing has been an awesome machine. Am I happy that I kept it? I'm happy that I kept it. It looks pretty cool. It's got a pretty cool light. Yep, there it is. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but that thing's pretty cool. I never really use it. It's really unnecessary, but if I knew about the CR-10 Smart Pro, I'd probably end up getting that over this one, because eventually I do want to get the Bowden tube here. I do want to get the spool coming up from the top here and coming straight down. I think the Pro has like a dual extrusion or something like that. And another cool feature about the Pro is that it's got the wheels here to adjust manually the bed leveling. It's also got the light up here. It just looks like a really sweet machine. And again, automatic bed leveling. But for what I needed it for my second machine, I'm really happy with it. And yes, I did have to email Creality and ask them why certain things were happening. You could see in all my other videos that I have about the Creality, I talk about the issues that I had. I didn't really hold back. I talked about everything in all my previous videos with Creality CR-10 Smart and my experience going through their team, and kind of expressed my frustrations about not being able to return. I just wanted to return this thing, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I kept it. It's awesome. I really like this machine. They really won me over. I'll say it like that, because I just thought that they wouldn't care. I thought that if I were to message them and say, hey, I'm having these problems, they'll just kind of not care or something like that. And these were just, assumptions that I had based off of all these YouTube videos I watched. And I'm really glad that there were those YouTube videos, because there's some very useful information in all of them. And it made me very careful on what to do, what not to do, what to look out for. And so yeah, for my 3-month review of this machine, I'm very happy with it. I've printed almost daily, all throughout the day, all throughout the night, and I have timers going off. So the moment one print finishes, I start the next print. And so this thing was running like clockwork for 3 months pretty much. And it still is. It's just it's taking a break now. I finished up my prints, and I'm about to get some more prints, some more projects to be printing out soon. So while this thing was at a place where it was just going to relax and rest, I said, you know what? Let me make a video talking about this and give you guys my experience. I'm really happy with this machine overall. And, I feel like if I didn't tinker with it, if I didn't really have anything to fix about it, I wouldn't really know as much. So it's that experience kind of going in and going, hey, is there something wrong with this? And how does it work? And so on and so forth really gave me the experience. Again, that experience is invaluable, because I know how, for the most part, it works now. I know the ins and outs. And yeah, I'm just super happy with this machine. So the big question is, would I recommend this machine? Well, the short answer is, yeah, I would. This is a cool machine. I'm not saying go out and buy one, but if I were to see my past self and if my past self was looking for a machine, I would say, you know what, just get this machine. It's a good machine. You're going to have to go through some learning process with it, but it's okay. And I feel like I'm repeating what some other people who have this machine have said in the past, where it's going to require a little bit of tinkering, but once you get it right, it works really well. And yeah, I mean, it does. I was going to get the Creality CR-10 Pro V2, I think it's called, the one where everyone says it's just the most reliable machine. But what made me not want to get that is that it didn't have these bars here. And so I decided to go with this machine, even though everyone was talking about that machine being the best. And when I was going to ask them for a refund, I actually went in and I said, hey guys, I want to refund this, but I also want to get the CR10 Pro V2. And I don't know why you guys are not just letting me return it. You're going to get more money in the end. And it wasn't about that. I think the goal of their service team was to show that, hey, we really care for our customers. Even though they didn't want to return my CR10 Smart, they said it was pretty much like, I felt like it was a message to the customer saying, we'll stick with you through the problem, we'll get it resolved, we'll send you all the necessary parts, because I'm sure sending me this glass bed, sending me the spool, sending me the new arc extrusion kit, all that, the shipping probably cost them a good amount of money, and sending me those products cost them a good amount of money as well. So they opted out of making more money off of me getting a new machine, and they instead put more money into sending me parts. So really thankful to Creality, really thankful for this machine, really thankful for this setup right here. I actually got this Workbench because they said that you were getting weird layering effects in your prints because of several issues, and one of them was that it's possible that your table isn't sturdy. So I went to Harbor Freight and I got this very sturdy Workbench. This thing is really sturdy, and still it did the layering issue, and I spent $100 on this thing. But I'm really happy with this Workbench. I was going to probably get one anyway because I was already looking into it. And Creality saying it might be a Workbench gave me a good reason for me to just go out and finally spend that $100. This is the thing that printed out my first Etsy sale, so I'm very thankful for that. And both of these are really good. The Monoprice does really well with fast prints that don't need to be very accurate, meaning you don't have to worry about tolerancing. But this machine, the tolerancing is very accurate. At least a predictable result will always come out, so I know how much of a gap to leave between parts to create a nice and good tolerance for whatever I'm making. Well guys, that's my 3-month review on the Creality CR-10 Smart. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe for more content like this. I have a Maya beginner tutorial coming up specifically for modelers, and it's going to be a series that I intend on releasing several days a week, one new video. And go ahead and check out that video as well. Give it a like, and let me know in the comments below whether or not you would get a Creality CR-10 Smart, or you would go with a different company. If you were to go with a different company or a different machine from Creality, which one would that be? Would love to see what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Until next time, peace, love, and joy.